So I need to right a wrong. I realized after going through a bunch of videos and articles on my website gear43.com that I never did a video review of the Yeti Rambler Tumbler. And the crazy thing about that is that this is actually my favorite one that I have been using for a really long time, like 5 or more years. I was given this by my wife a long time ago, and I have so much to say about it because it's really good and considerably better than pretty much every other coffee mug I have tested. So in this video, I'm going to be going through everything that I do like and that I don't like about this coffee mug so that you can make the choice for yourself on if it's going to work for you. So with that, let's get into it. All right, so what is the Yeti Rambler? So this specifically is the 20-ounce version. I personally like the 20-ounce, however, it does come in a 10-ounce version as well as a 30-ounce version. So make sure to choose the capacity that is right for you. But for me, the 20-ounce is the best. All three do fit into cup holders for vehicles, which is really nice. So the exterior of this has really thick paint. However, underneath of that paint is going to be an 18x8 stainless steel double wall construction coffee mug. Now, a lot of other coffee mugs out there have that exact same thing, so I'm not going to actually go too far into how long this thing actually keeps coffee hot for because they all are around the same nowadays. However, I'm going to put a card up here that will lead you over to a video where I did test this coffee mug into exactly how long it can keep coffee hot for. But we're gonna move on from that. So moving up top, this coffee mug has a mag slider lid, which you can take on and off just by peeling it off. It is not a screw on or screw off type lid. And it is called the mag slider because it has a magnet that you basically push up and down. And it is magnet because you can actually peel this magnet off right here, so you can see it actually is a completely separate component, and you can put it right back on easily. It doesn't clip on or anything like that, which is a really interesting way of doing it, but I'm going to get into that a little bit more later. As for the interior, like most to-go mugs nowadays, this is a stainless steel interior. Unlike the fellow products, which uses a ceramic interior, this is still stainless steel. So if you are somebody that can taste that metallic taste in your coffee, this may not be for you. I want to look at something like the fellow Carter mug that I had recently reviewed as well. So why I personally grabbed this coffee mug over like a better styled coffee mug like the Carter Everywhere mug or even like the Clean Canteen that I've also tested out is really its ability to be able to be used while driving. So when you're driving a car, you don't want to take both hands off the steering wheel, obviously. You want to be able to only take one off, and this does a really good job of it. With that magnetic lid, you have no problem opening and closing, lifting it up out of the cup holder, which it does fit in cup holders. It just works really well while you're driving. Most other coffee mugs, you have to either take both your hands off the steering wheel or stuff like that, and I have just found that the mag slider lid really is the best way of doing it that I have ever seen. Because of really that one reason, this is my favorite mug. Now, of course, there are other coffee mugs that you can open and close with one hand. However, most other manufacturers do it a little bit differently than Yeti, which again is why I like this mug so much. So that is actually my second point of why I like this mug, is its ease of cleaning. So this comes in basically three different parts. You have the coffee mug itself, you have the mag slider, and then you have the lid itself. As you can see, all of the components on this lid right here are all flat. There's no weird grooves. Same with this. And then obviously same with the coffee mug. So all of these things can be put into the dishwasher easily with no problem whatsoever. And that is just a big upside. So there's no weird grooves like a lot of the other ones where you can easily open it with one hand, just have a massive mechanism in the base of the lid. This doesn't have it. It's super simple. Now, of course, that's going to get into a downside a little bit later that we're going to talk about. But for now, this lid is definitely my favorite. Now, the number three reason why I like this is it's going back to the basics. This does keep my coffee hot, but I'm not going to go too far into that. Most coffee mugs nowadays, unless they're made of something like plastic, are going to keep your coffee hot. So don't pay too much attention to that unless you're buying a cheapo one. The number four thing that I really like about this coffee mug is how durable it is. I have had this thing for 5+ years or so now, and you can tell there really isn't much damage whatsoever. I have dropped it. You can see, I think it's right here. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. You can see right here, there's little dings right here where I have dropped it in gravel or on cement or something like that. However, you would really at a glance or really even inspecting it closely, never know that this thing is 5 or more years old. And so I really do think that this coffee mug is going to last a lifetime. It's been thrown around, it's been thrown in the dishwasher constantly, and it has just really been overall abused. And I have no issues with the quality. So if you're looking for something that holds up to things, this might be it. So now there are two different things that I don't like about this coffee mug, so pay attention as it might be a deal breaker for you. Before we get back to the video, I do want to ask, if you like this review and you like honest reviews of great products and maybe not so great products, make sure to subscribe to this channel as I come out with videos all the time about products like this. And with that said, let's get back to the video. Number one is going back to the lid. This is not a watertight container, so you can't throw this into a bag, you can't throw this into your purse, you can't just throw this into the floorboards of your car and expect it to keep the coffee in there. So of course it does splash out ever so slightly. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of buildup in the lid, even when the bag slider is closed. However, it's not that bad. It's splash resistant, but definitely not leak proof. If this tips over, you're definitely gonna have your drink spilling out of there. So if you are looking for something that you can throw into a bag, this isn't it. Again, I would probably recommend looking at something like the Fellow Products Carter Wide Mug, which I'll make sure to link down in the description for you guys. However, that is the major downside to this and why I think some people may not choose it. I'm not somebody that's like that, so I generally am somebody that just wants it to be in a cup holder, and that's not an issue there. Then the number two thing that I don't love about this coffee mug is its styling. I feel like it's held back a little bit. Yeti has been coming out with some really cool kind of future looking products, but this one has kind of stayed the same for a really long time. It's a little more utilitarian, which I'm not a crazy big fan of anymore, especially when you have things like Clean Canteen pushing out their Rise collection, which I've also reviewed because they gifted me a couple when they came out with a collection. And I have to say the aesthetics of like a Clean Canteen are better. Usability is obviously better in this Yeti. However, I will say I like the styling better in things like the Fellow Products and Clean Canteen better. So if those things are important to you, you might want to look elsewhere. Now, who is this coffee mug for? So I would say, honestly, for the most part, it's a great mug for about anyone. However, it's a little bit easier for me to say who this is not for. So this, going back to some of my downsides, this is for somebody that does not need a watertight container. I can't stress enough, this is not watertight. So if you need a watertight one, this is not for you. Don't buy it. It's not going to be worth it for you or anything like that. And then the other person that this is not for is somebody that is on a strict budget. This thing is not cheap. It's north of 30 bucks for a coffee mug when you can be buying things for less than $10. If you are budget minded, if you're somebody that is just does not have this in your budget, don't overextend yourself and buy something that's more expensive than what you need. Instead, just buy a cheaper coffee mug until you can save up and purchase this. Don't go into debt for it. Please. Please don't go into debt for a coffee mug. And then moving over to competitors, I've mentioned them a couple different times throughout the video. Some major competitors that I have also tested are the Clean Canteen Rise mug, as well as the Fellow Products Carter Wide mug. I would recommend going ahead and checking them out to see if you are interested in those. I'll make sure to leave some links in the description for those as well. With that said, if you do want to buy this coffee mug, I will leave a paid link, just like all the other links, in the top comment and description for this. I really like this coffee mug. I have been using it for years and years. I have no problem recommending it just because it is my favorite coffee mug. And with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you like reviews like this.